We've heard about, there are some really important things that came out of that discussion. This concept of embedding employers into the process, bearing in mind how busy people are. I love this thing about talking about qualifications that make sense. And I think extending that, we know that the process needs to make sense to the young people involved in it, as well as to the employers. We talked about entrepreneurship and the mindset that we need to work on. We talked about investing in young people. Also, I think this whole idea of the collaboration environment being so much easier now. And are we really making full use of the technology available to us to collaborate effectively? Are we listening to everybody? Are we listening to people on both sides? And also, of course, we talked about the importance of partnership. And with that in mind, I'd like to introduce Ms. Nguyen, the Training and Human Resources Development Manager at Viglacera, and Jonathan Ledger to talk about their experience of partnership here in Vietnam. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce, my name is Nguyen. I come from Viglacera Corporation. And firstly, I would like to say thanks to GDVT and British Council to give us the chance attend the cinema and stay here to talk with you about our industry and education partnership. And in my presentation, I would like to share you some information about Viglacera Corporation and our human resource development strategy and requirement, especially today with the contribution of Mr. Jonathan, who comes from Boston, UK. He is not only the great consultant, but also our lovely friend.
Thank you.
And he will talk about his understanding about our cooperation and our partnership key action. And now I want to introduce you about Viglacera Corporation. The Viglacera Corporation makes their investment in 4 areas: building material manufacturing, trading, block construction, and real estate. And the last one is R&D and training. Viglacera have 40 subsidiary and affiliate company nationwide with more than 13,000 people, more than 13,000 employees, including 3 manufacturing building glass company, 9 terracotta company, 1 company in refractory, 3 company in ceramic tile, granite tiles, and 3 company is a sanitary ware and fitting companies. 5 companies operating in the field of production material. 8 companies operating in investment and business infrastructure for industrial parks, housing, and urban, and office commercial center. The other company operating in the field of trading and R&D and training. Thank you. Nick. And according to our human resource development strategy from 2011 to 2020, we had to improve our quality of employee, having good knowledge, having professional skill, being responsible at work, and having a strong attachment to the company. Thus, are very important factor to raise effectiveness for enterprise, increasing labor efficiency, producing high-quality product, decreasing product price, and employee have stable income. And that is the reason why we have the human resource development for requirement in each area. In production manufacturing area, we need to improve expertise, vocational skill, experience, process control, updates, product orientation, and technology information. And in the trade area, we need to improve the skill of marketing, sales, market development, brand development, etc. And also in real estate, we have the requirement for our employee to improve the professional competency in the field of creation and exploitation of real estate. And in R&D and training, we need to improve the knowledge table about technology, modern production equipment, technical standard for material, products, process, production technology, and the capable of research, and develop the curriculum and the skill of modern teaching. So the corporation make strong focus to our R&D and training. And in 2011, we upgrade the Viglacera Vocational School to be Viglacera Vocational College and move from Hanoi to Bắc Ninh province with a new facility. And I can say that our college, our Viglacera Vocational College now is the top ranking in the ranking college to train the technical staff, to train the worker in the field of building material industries. And the college now we have 5 faculty and center: the construction and building material faculty, engineering faculty, the informatics technology faculty, the business and administration, business management faculty, and foreign language center. We have 103 employees, of which we have 1 associate professor doctor, 1 doctor, 15 BA, MA and MS, and 72 BA and BS. Almost of them have experience from our industries. And now we have 40 of them still to work as engineering, as a technical manager, as a production manager, even as a director from the enterprise. The next. So our action plan we need to design the training program for the production of glass, ceramic tile, granite tile, and sanitary ware. And we develop the curriculum structure and content to meet the national occupational skill standard, and develop the training material and quality assurance system. We also want to train the teacher in glass, ceramic tile, granite tile, and sanitary ware manufacturing, then as a teacher, trainer, assessor to train, to assess competence. And our goal we would like to receive the UK certificate for our training program. That's why we're looking for the international partner who can help us to reach our targets. And in the last December, Viglacera leader has a UK visit. And at that time, they met our friend, Mr. Jonathan from ProSkin UK. After contact each other with the support from British Council, we have the 10-day, the ProSkin UK have 10-day scoping visits and training at our college and our enterprise. When we finish the scoping visits, we have signed the long-term cooperative agreement to create a long-term cooperation and long-term collaboration in piloting a model that places employer as least in ensuring skill standards are relevant to the needs of employer in line with regional and international standards. And now I would like to introduce my friend, Mr. Jonathan Nguyen, introduce about his understanding about Viglacera Corporation and our key action plan. Please.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Nguyen. Good afternoon. I think we're just about in the afternoon. I forget which time of day it is. And it's a real privilege to be on stage, actually, as part of the British Council's Bringing the Learning Home programme, but also amongst so many eminent skills and learning people from across the globe. So I'm really grateful for that. Rather than give you more slides, what we've got is a little clip that we're going to show you that introduces ProSkills UK, so 1.5 minutes of video entertainment. So hopefully technology will work.
This is ProSkills. We believe skills are the key to growth. That's why as a charity, we aim to promote, advance, and train people, anyone currently or intending to work in materials production and supply industries. These industries are vital to the UK and global economies. So, how do we do this? Well, we develop vocational qualifications. By working with industry, we make sure every standard is of the highest quality. Because if you unlock an individual's potential, you build confidence and you grow talent. We love apprenticeships. We develop frameworks and support employers and trailblazers. And we ensure those looking for an alternative route have the right tools to make it. We also aid global skills development. By working with partners from across the globe, we make sure they have the tools they need to build skills on a local level, in turn, helping growth at home. But our work doesn't start in the workplace, it starts much earlier than that. See, we also develop schools in the industry. By working with industry and teachers, we develop hands-on programs to teach young people about our industries. So why don't you join us and help us to inspire the next generation to design it, to learn it, to craft it, to sketch it, to build it, to carve it, to feel it, to experience it, and to win it. So join us. Together we really can make skills work. Get involved today and grow your industry with ProSkills.
There we go. That's better than watching another slide. So hope you enjoyed that little ditty. One of our team made that up a few weeks back. I just want to quickly move on, really, because all of that translates into a really simple strategy. And hopefully technology will work. There we go. So there's our strategy. It's really, really simple. all we aim to do really is get people from school into work and to progress through work as long as they want to stay in work. And it's a really complicated process, and we try to make it easy. Employers often complain that the skills system is very complicated and there's too many components. Our job is to make it easy to work with partners, to work with agencies, and our job really is to get people over that bridge into work. As simple as that, and we do that in all sorts of forms, and we've created a transferable model. And picking up on some of the themes from this morning, we have worked extensively with national occupational standards, with training providers, colleges, universities, so there are many components. And our work starts at the age of 12 years old. We plant seeds for industry at 12 years old. Many people don't want to work in manufacturing. It's too dusty, too many long hours, not enough pay. Why should I do that when I can work in a nice computer environment? And our job, really representing 10 manufacturing industries, is really to get that fire alight at a very early age and to carry that all the way through work up until 65 years old, or whenever somebody wants to call it a day. Coming back to the Viglacera project, and I'll be really quick, we came over and did a particular scoping visit, and Miss Nguyen and colleagues from around the divisions that we looked at were really kind of open with us in sharing their business concerns, their business needs, their business demands, and what they're expecting from the future in terms of their employees. And it's clear there are several issues. One's been mentioned about the large number of young people that they need to attract into the businesses. And when you go round these plants, you know, they're excellent plants, they provide really good opportunities, but young people just don't see that. They just don't think it's attractive enough, and there are other things that are better to do, or they think they're better to do. And actually, it's not just about the plant jobs, the operational jobs. You know, these companies, they need accountants, managers, office staff of all kind of shapes and forms, marketing staff. It's not just the technical jobs. And we're trying to work with them now to look at all of that. So the scoping visit really was a detailed understanding for us to make sure that we were really on the right path and that we create something that's systemic and is a system-led approach. And that feeds into the government as well, because we're working with the government in terms of the National Qualifications Framework development, and what we want to create in Viglacera is a leading approach that other industries can adopt in Vietnam. So we're not particularly fussy about, you know, badging it as Viglacera or ProSkills. This is about a countrywide development. And I'm just going to talk you through now some of the issues that we found within Viglacera, and you'll see then how it starts to shape into a program. And I've kept these quite short. As you can imagine, in the report to the company, it was a lot longer, and we've got just 5 bullets here. So really simple. And we feel that the whole training mechanism affects the whole route through a company, from the very first piece of recruitment all the way through to recognising competence and building on competence. So we took a look at some very, very key areas, and I'm not going to read these out each of them. I'm just going to go straight onto a picture, I think, that says it better. I hope it's in the right order. Is technology working? So we have a process where we look at recruitment, induction, training, skills assessment and competence recognition, and we relate that into a safe culture. As you can imagine, a lot of the plants that operate within Viglacera could be dangerous. If you put your hand in the wrong place, you're likely to lose your hand. So it's not just about technical skills, this is about safety skills, this is about the team working skills and all of the other soft skills, because all of those things make the plant work efficiently and safely, and the same with the employees. And then we believe firmly that vocational training feeds into all those areas in terms of increased productivity, motivation, ability to move on in a job or move up in a job, to create staff retention, for example, long-term staff retention, because the feeling is if you look after your staff, they don't need to look anywhere else for a job. So real bag of benefits that will come from vocational training. And then we add to that a quality assurance system that means that the things that are getting delivered, the skills that are being trained, are actually adding value to the business. I've been in skills for over 25 years. I know I don't look that old, but it really is a problem when organisations are working with industry and they're not really building on impact. And this is what it's about. If we're not adding value, what are we doing for that business? So that's really where we're coming from. And we go round a cycle where Viglacera is at the heart of that, and what we make sure we try and do, if this is going to work in the right direction, there we go. So we have a continuous loop that goes all the way around that. We seem to be on different slides. Don't know what's happened there. So our process, just really quickly, 4 steps. Where are you going? Or where are you now, sorry. Where are you going? The objectives. How are we going to do it? What's the journey look like? And how do we know we've arrived? And it translates really all of that work into 4 very simple words. To understand, to align, to plan, and to measure impact. And that's what our whole system approach is about. So it's not just for us to have a whole system, it's not just for Viglacera. The legacy is that we leave it for the country to be able to pick it up and apply it to other industries. And in a year's time, what we want to be able to do is to sit down with a big group of industries, not just from Vietnam, but from other Asian countries and maybe wider, to share that experience and then for them to pick that up and say, okay, some bits of that are good for me, some are not, but actually it gives you a model to start with. Within Viglacera, we take a very Viglacera-centric model. And it's really important for us to have that centric model. We're always reviewing what we do. We have in the program for the next 18 months of activity a really robust look at impact, look at the program timetable and schedule to make sure it delivers so that we can constantly tweak it, because we may try things several times and it may not work and we have to kind of come back with another solution. But that's what it's all about, because we're all learning. It's not just the employees that are going to be learning from this, it's us as managers and us as developers and us as skills applicators. So it's really important that we hold Viglacera at the heart of what we try to do and keep them right in the middle. So the actions coming from our scoping visit. There's a delay, it takes a long time for the signal to go over, there we are. So 6 basic steps. They already have some NOS that exist in Vietnam. National Occupational Standards. They have and haven't been used. It's kind of a bit variable, so we're really working to re-engineer the National Occupational Standards to make sure they're applicable to their workload today and tomorrow, to redevelop the training courses because they're not mapped to the NOS in the way that they should be, so we want to make sure that they are. And of course the NOS will be applied outside of Viglacera in the wider industry, so we're just developing it using as Viglacera as a large model, and then we'll be working with the rest of industry to be able to roll that out. To implement and upskill the trainers and the assessors that are needed within that system, to develop the pilot program, to roll it out, to coach them, to make sure that they can operate it without us, because the long-term aim is they don't need pro skills. They should be able to do it on their own. That's the long-term aim. We're not here to be here for 10 years. We want to be here to equip companies to be able to do this when we've gone. To help with the college in terms of their management structure as well, so we've built in a lot of management training, and as part of that work to undertake a real detailed labour market study so that the lessons from it are applicable to the wider industry and, as I say, other industries. And our cooperation plan is really quite simple. We look at various areas from the ideas, the vision, the funding, and the governance of these structures that we put in place, and we have this constant testing model where we're refining what we do. And just quickly, a look at the schedule. So we have an 18-month program to cover those activities, and you'll see if I bring up all the quarters, they kind of all overlap in some way. We spent a long time working with Viglacera to make sure that we get that timetable right, and to make sure that it fits in with their business, again, because if it doesn't work as part of their normal business, the question is, what are we doing with it? Where is it going wrong? It's got to be normal business, not interrupting the business, and I think that's the important thing with this. And there we are. I managed to pip it. He kept holding up a 5-minute warning, and for the first time, I think, at a British Council event, I've managed to keep to time. So thank you very much, everybody, and thanks for listening. Are we doing questions now? Or? Okay, we've been allowed 1 or 2 questions. I haven't got my glasses on, so make sure you wave because you look like a blur of colour. Young man in the middle there.
Yeah, I was left out in the morning, so I drop in now.
He will get a question in at some point.
Thank you very much. My name is Kai Schroter. I'm director of hospitality tourism consultancy, but apart from representing that sector, I think in terms of vocational training, it's affecting many other sectors, as you just pointed out. My question to you is, here we have seems to be a very usable model of working with large corporations like Viglacera in terms of bringing the system on the way from school, leaving school towards the employer side. Apart from working with an individual corporation, how do you see the process or the development on elevating that on national level? That seems to be, for me, in Vietnam, a critical factor, that we institutionalize the lessons learned from such individual initiatives towards a larger national level where it plays into the hand of the Vietnamese government. So again, my question is, how would you approach, as an expert in this area, how would you approach get the dialogue, get the institutionalized system going between the Vietnamese government and the private sector?
Really good question, thank you. We're already working with the government on the National Qualifications Framework, so we're not just working at the operational level, we are at the strategic countrywide level, and what we're doing is we're making sure that both hear the same voice at the same time. And I think really what we're trying to do, Viglacera, a really keen company with some resources to be able to progress this quite quickly, and there is a pressure on Vietnam to get the National Qualifications Framework system up and running, because of the Asian reference framework. And what we want to try and do is just use their capability and their resource to be able to do that, so they want to lead the project, but all the lessons go upwards, not downwards, upwards, so that they can be applied. And I think the other point I would make is, yes, Viglacera, ginormous company, and it's easy because they have lots of resources. The big bit in this is, for us, is how we translate it to small and medium enterprises, because there are many more of those than there are Viglaceras. So that's the translation part that is key in this. Yeah. Thank you very much.